we've been creating a lot of content around Quantum Air, and we don't plan on slowing down anytime in the foreseeable future, guys. I'm super excited about Quantum Air and covering this game for you guys because it is my most anticipated game of the future, without a doubt, guys. And I'm very excited to see not only what Team Kill Media creates with Quantum Air, the initial, title and what we're hoping to be a long-withstanding franchise, but what this all, is going to encompass. There's definitely a lot of psychological elements to Quantum Air. There's a lot of things that I believe have been taken from, in other games that have come before it, like Dead Space and Left 4 Dead and GTFO. A lot of different games that it looks like it's taking certain references from, even though it looks like it's its own thing. I'm very excited about this title, and I want to talk, guys, in this segment of the show about everything that we know at this point in time about Quantum Air. The big questions being, obviously the release date is the one that's huge for a lot of people in the community, but even other intricacies of this title. Let's talk about it. So, guys, in an article coming to us from Cameron Corliss of Game Rant, Team Kill Media shares footage of Quantum Air running on Unreal Engine 5, which the game is now being made in, which I think is awesome, guys. Obviously, Quantum Air was announced, back in 2020, and when it was announced, obviously it was on the old Unreal Engine, and now it's being made on Unreal Engine 5, which I think is great, right? Even though this was a title that was gonna, plan on being almost like a launch title for the PlayStation 5, I'm glad that they took their time to, just that being the guys over at Team Kill Media, took their time to actually create this title and make it as good as possible from a perspective of not only gameplay, but also from a graphical perspective. Seeing what Unreal Engine 5 can do, guys, I'm super excited about that. The games industry is in a bit of a transitionary period right now as new hardware becomes more popular and game engines receive updates. Unreal Engine 5 has been one of the most notable game engine improvements, with demos showing off just how incredible the engine can be, at least where graphics are concerned. And while it will be some time before games using the engine start to release, some are starting to make the switch, including the sci-fi horror game Quantum Air. Over on YouTube, the Quantum Air dev team shared a video featuring the game running in Unreal Engine 5, which the game is now using. The footage gives fans a look at some of the ominous environments and first-person gameplay, showing off what the game is able to achieve visually thanks to the game engine jump. Even with stylized visuals instead of over-the-top realism, Quantum Air is looking impressive, and I 100% agree with that, guys. I think that I'm so excited that Team Kill is taking their time. They're not trying to just rush this title out. They want to make sure that this thing is perfect for not only, the long-withstanding duration of what they hope this to be, a long-withstanding franchise, but from a fan perspective, the community perspective, wanting to make it that it's going to have, a lot of replayability and like the wow effect of what they're trying to do here from a story perspective, a lore perspective. I'm so excited to see as this is all coming together slowly but surely. It's going to be really interesting. Now, what's interesting to me, guys, is when a company, and I've heard this before, but a company like Team Kill Media, which the narratives around this are unbelievable, guys. There's 4 brothers that are working on this game. It's had a GoFundMe campaign, a number of different things, right? And so it's not having the backing of like a major publisher or something of that nature. This is 4 brothers, guys, who are creating this title, which creates so many amazing narratives, first and foremost. But secondly, the transition from the old Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 5, I wonder, has that delayed the process in a major way? Because, when you think about it, when you hear that they're transitioning over to a whole new engine, I don't know what the intricacies are of that, guys. I don't really know a ton about game development from that perspective, but I hope it doesn't delay the game significantly. There's a lot of rumors and speculation that we're going to be getting Quantum Air, sometime in the summer of this year. There's also rumors that it could be later this year or even in, 2023. It's hard to say, but it sounds like from the official Quantum Air, Twitter account that things are moving along nicely. Now, the lighting featured in the gameplay is particularly notable as the illumination gives the entire video a foreboding ambience. For a game focused on delivering tense moments, lighting will be a central element as it's a useful tool for setting the player's focus on a specific area, or in many cases, concealing what's lurking just beneath the shadows. While Quantum Error didn't look bad before the Switch, there are some obvious improvements here. Besides the lighting, the guns in the clips appear to be more detailed than their previous counterparts, though that could simply be because of Unreal Engine 5's other graphical improvements. Regardless, the game is looking better than it once did, and that's an overall positive for those that have been following it. And yeah, I agree, guys. I mean, obviously, what Quantum Error and the guys over at Team Kill have showed us up to this point, it's all been a work in progress. None of it's been finalized. So from a graphical perspective, we knew that this was a work in progress, and it was something that was certainly, I think we're getting closer and closer to getting this game on the shelves, guys. But I'm one that wants them to take their time to make sure that this is perfect for the community at large. Obviously, we don't want to get the game, and then it has, bugs and glitches and things of that nature. And so I'm totally down with them taking their time. And I think that, yes, we can definitely tell a major difference from the old Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 5 from a graphics perspective. Now, Quantum Error was announced about a year ago, promising a cosmic horror experience with FPS elements. News about the game has been relatively spaced out, with the Unreal Engine 5 update being one of the beefiest announcements that developer Team Kill Media has made in a few months. It's possible that more of the game is shown at some sort of upcoming showcase. Obviously, guys, we know that there have been, I think what's great about with Team Kill is they're very open about, sharing information with the community. Obviously, this was a GoFundMe. There was a GoFundMe campaign that came out, and they have been very willing to work with the community here, like feedback from the community, which I think is absolutely awesome. You don't get this a lot from developers. A lot of times they have their own vision, and they may take bits and pieces, but it's usually bits and pieces of the community after the game comes out, and they have to change things up. Like when we start thinking about games like Call of Duty, or even smaller games, that are out there, even like Dead Space and games of that nature. A lot of times they'll release the game, and then once it comes out, then they start listening to the community feedback. I love that they're listening to it right here, right now. There's still no release date for Quantum Error, and transitioning between game engines undoubtedly takes some elbow grease, but it seems to be chugging along nicely. Unreal Engine 5 is a pretty big leap for both Quantum Error and the industry as a whole, so it'll be interesting to see just how big of a difference the transition makes. Quantum Error is in development. So obviously, guys, I do think, and it's going to be interesting to see, has this delayed them? And that'll be something that we should definitely ask the developers over at Team Kill, because, I'm sure it kind of put them back behind schedule slightly. Now, does that mean that they're, not going to be able to meet their deadlines and things of that nature? It's hard to say. The way I look at it, though, once again, guys, is I'd rather them take their time, create an incredible, horror experience for everyone. So when the game comes out, the reception, the reviews, everything that comes out is overwhelmingly positive for a horror title. Because obviously, guys, the horror genre, even though it's grown drastically over the years, it still seems to be a niche genre. A lot of, people are into the FPS shooters like Call of Duty and Halo. And so when you look at something like Quantum Error, that is a small development team, it's going to take every one of us in the community to really help build this franchise, or what I should say, a game that we want to be a long-withstanding franchise. But with that being said, guys, let's talk about the story. So the story of Quantum Error is when the Monad Quantum Research Facility, 30 miles off the shore of California, is attacked by an unknown entity engulfing the complex in flames and putting it into a full containment lockdown. A distress call is sent for mutual aid to the Garboa Fire Department in San Francisco, California. Fire Chief Sturgis answers the call and sends you, Captain Jacob Thomas, your partner Shane Costa, and a crew by helicopter to the Monad facility. Your mission is simple: save as many lives from the burning complex as possible and get out. However, what starts as a rescue mission quickly plummets into darkness when you arrive and find that things are not as they appear. Quantum Error is a cosmic horror FPS in development by Team Kill Media. So there was a lot of talk, guys, obviously, and I've been very vocal on the YouTube channel saying that I hope at some point or another, Obviously, there's only so much that we can expect at this very juncture in time from Quantum Error and the guys at Team Kill. You know, they're trying to create this incredible experience, a single player experience, right? I've been very vocal that I believe co-op is very important for a title like this to have legs for the long duration of time. Obviously, you know, I thought, you know, initially that maybe you'd be able to play as, you know, your Captain Jacob Thomas as the main character, but you could also play with a friend, and your friend could be, you know, potentially Shane Costa, and you could play it kind of from a co-op perspective. Now, obviously, I don't really want that from a campaign perspective. I want it to be a single player experience, because when you do co-op, it doesn't feel as unnerving and as scary, right, as it, you know, would be, you know, obviously if you were just by yourself. So that being said, I want them to keep it a single player story from the campaign perspective. However, co-op from the perspective of playing with another friend or a squad of people to go up against waves and waves of these enemies in a certain setting, similar to like Gears of War's Horde mode, I think would be absolutely incredible for this game. We don't know if that's something that's down the pipeline, but what I will tell you guys is that Quantum Error and the guys over at Team Kill are very open to listening to what the community is thinking and what we kind of want. Not so much that they're going to listen to everything that we want, guys, but that is something that is on the top of my list for sure, as something that hopefully would be added at some point or another, so that after you're done playing the single player story a couple of times, you can come back with your friends and play against in a PvE setting sort of scenario. We do not have confirmation on that as of yet. Now, the story though, guys, this is a story that really is captivating me. It reminds me of things like Dead Space. It reminds me of games even like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, you know, GTFO. It's got elements of those, right? It really feels, though, to me, more of a spiritual successor to Dead Space. I'm looking at it from the perspective of a first-person shooter. Dead Space is kind of what I'm getting at, because we know that the Callisto Protocol is going to be the true spiritual successor. There's also been reference to like Resident Evil and other games. I'm very glad, though, that Quantum Error is kind of standing on its own, though, at this point in time, with the different, you know, creatures and the different, you know, enemies that you're going to be going up against, the closed-in corridors and such. I am very excited about this. The last thing, though, guys, is, of course, how are we going to be able to play the game? Well, obviously, we're going to be talking about this, guys, later in the show, but a way in which that you're able to play the title, it looks like at first the game's going to release on PlayStation 5. Then it's going to be on the PlayStation 4 to release maybe later on PlayStation 4, and then on Xbox Series X and S. And it sounds like Quantum Error and the guys at Team Kill have mentioned that it's going to be kind of like in that order. They're going to release it one at a time. So it will be technically exclusive to PlayStation, at least for the foreseeable future, until, you know, later on at some point it comes on Xbox. That being said, though, guys, what do you all think about Quantum Error at this point in time, about everything that we know at this point? How excited are you? Let us know in the comment section down below. And guys, definitely check out the Quantum Error Universe Discord page. It's in the description down below. Check it out, guys. We are talking about everything in the world of Quantum Error, and I'm super excited about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.